Hey guys, good morning and welcome. I'm Stuart Calder. I'm VP for International Sales and Marketing here at NetReady. Thank you for joining us and dedicating your time to this week's edition of our Facebook Live events. Today what we're going to be discussing here is strategies to help build your business opportunity presentations. We are joined by none other than Mr. Richard Sletcher. Richard?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Keeping well?
That's nice.
I'm
recovering.
A little bit tired today, and the reason we're a little bit tired and we are in this setting, it's quite fitting, Richard. I'm going to go into why we're feeling a little bit tired, but the setting that we're in right now plays quite well into the business opportunity presentations, because one of those business opportunities is done at a coffee shop.
Yes, exactly.
And we're in our coffee shop.
Indeed.
We're actually in our NetReady office space at the moment, and we're sitting in our, what we call our coffee shop, our kitchen area. And what you can't see off camera is all the equipment and the sound and the lighting that we've used for last night's presentation for nanonutrients. What an epic event that was.
Yeah, I'm just going goosebumps.
It was crazy. Tian Swart, the COO of nanonutrients, did an epic job presenting the business opportunity.
Yeah.
We were just down the road here at Crystal Towers and had the most amazing time.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely incredible. I was totally blown away with what he did.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he's got a lot of experience in the MLM space. He's been doing this for a long time.
Sure.
And it showed. You know, I'd never seen him present, so we'd always been kind of talking to him about his business and helping him get ready for his launch, which we did last night.
Yeah.
But when I actually saw him on stage presenting, and I saw the epic presentation that he did, the PowerPoint slides, the whole deck, everything was just, it was really, really good. So yeah, I know it was quite an amazing evening, and of course our team was there to live stream it and to film it and everything, which is why there's such chaos here in the office.
You don't want to see what's going on. It's organized mess, and we're getting ready for another event that we're running tomorrow night for our second or another one of our clients, Go Autos, and I think that's going to be as spectacular of an event. Yeah, that's good. Well, one of the things I really loved about what Tian did was his confidence in the pitch that he had, his presentation that he had, and what he wanted to say and how he wanted to engage with his audience. Now, he'd rehearsed that many, many times before, and you could see it.
Yeah, it was very slick.
Yeah, it
very
was
slick.
And that is one of the guiding factors or the principles of delivering a presentation to this business opportunity meeting that you have to have in place. You have to practice over and over and over again so that you're confident that you don't even have to look at the presentation in front of you and it's, you know it's like the back of your hand.
Yeah, you want to be thinking about the person you're sitting opposite or the audience that's in front of you, not thinking about the next thing you have to say.
Right.
And that's where the rehearsal comes in. You need to actually get it so slick that you can see obviously the presentation gives you the hit points, but it should be a single word or a couple of words that introduce what you're actually going to say. But what you say should be slick and rehearsed, and you should know it backwards. And he did. I mean, it was amazing. He knows his product incredibly well. He knows his compensation plan properly. And so he was able to present very effectively.
He's got an epic product, and he led with that, which is one of the things we want to chat about in our session now. So let's dive into that. Let's talk about the presentations and why it is so important to have a presentation to accompany this business opportunity meeting. And we can focus on things like events, having them at a launch event, having them at a growth phase event, coffee shops, all the business opportunities, or in home. So what are the main reasons? Let's touch on that. Why it is so important to have this presentation?
Well, for me, having a canned presentation is what I call it. Something that has been predetermined by the company and where you've got a really strong messaging process put in place is important, because 99.9% of the presentations are not going to be done by the company staff.
Sure.
So the company staff can probably do the presentations in their sleep, but the reality is that Mrs. Smith or Mr. Jones actually have to be able to regurgitate that process in a coffee shop, in their home, with a whiteboard or with a presentation or with an online presentation. They've got to be able to redo that as effectively as the company owner would do it. And so the company owner learns what's effective. He then cans that presentation, and he cans it in the form of a video online, or he cans it in the form of a brochure that the person can work through, or it's in terms of maybe a flip chart or whatever that is used in an in-home presentation.
Yeah.
And once that thing is canned, he knows that it works. He knows that he's hit all of the milestones, that he's handled all of the objections, and all he's got to do is train the person to literally verbatim repeat the presentation and then repeat the closing questions. And if he can do that, he can duplicate himself.
Sure.
If he can't do that, he can't duplicate himself, because now everybody's making up their own story, and most of them are terrible.
Yeah.
And so what happens is people don't get recruited into the business because the presentation is not effective. And so that's why a canned presentation, like what we're going to talk about today, is so critically important.
Yeah. And training obviously becomes a very big part of duplicating, replication. And we need to, through that video training material, that's how the golden thread, this constant message, gets fed down the line as new recruits come into the business. Very important. How is, and this is a frustration that we have with a lot of our clients, and unfortunately it's a reality, and we're trying to shift a mindset around this, is that having brand CI, like having your corporate brand identity involved in these presentations is paramount. I can't just choose a template from PowerPoint and then slap something together. This actually needs to look professionally done by professionals, because as a network member, I'm not going to enter a business where, I'm not seeing excellence.
Yeah.
I'm seeing average.
Well, look, the thing is with multi-level marketing, the vast majority of your people, the vast majority, will never ever come into your office, because these businesses are not localized. They're completely decentralized. So you could have people all over the country / all over the world who the only access they've got to you is via your CI, as you said.
Yes.
And when you're in a traditional business, a brick and mortar business, your shop front, if you're a big retail environment, your shop front is what portrays your branding. So you'll have window displays, and you'll have beautiful carpets, and you'll have people dressed in a specific way, and you'll lay out your shop to look amazing and beautiful. So when people walk in the door, there's a certain impression that they get about your business.
Yeah.
Now, two things. One is that is very expensive to do, okay? And two, you've got to get professionals in to make your store look epic.
Right.
These big companies, they don't accidentally go in and snap something in. Yeah. And you'll know this for yourself. You go into a big restaurant chain, and you can see everything is thought out, and it just seems to work. And then you go into a mom and pop restaurant, and there's just something off about it.
Right. Yeah.
You can feel you're in the mom and pop restaurant, and you can see, like, it might be a similar table, but the way that it's laid out, the way that it's covered, the way that it's set up, the decor in the room, you can see immediately that this place is a mom and pop shop.
It's kind of just patched it all together.
Now, to create professional CI for your MLM business is not nearly as expensive. You employ a decent, obviously a decent agency, and they will have the in-house skills to do the CI for you, to create your website look and feel, to create your brochures, your documents, your manuals, all of that kind of stuff, so that when it comes out, that is the brand that you're portraying. People who look at your website, that's the business they're seeing. People look at your brochures. If they're printed out on a piece of color printer, they look terrible. And so that is the image you're portraying. So you don't want to portray that kind of image. You want to create a really fantastic image. Now, if you're an Amway or an Avon or whatever, then it's very difficult for your members to do damage to your brand. But if you're a small startup, then instantly you are going to have small startup stamped on your forehead when they look at your CI, and it's terrible. So kind of, in my opinion, that's a huge issue that you need to deal with, is to create whatever brochures, posters, PowerPoint presentations, websites, all of that stuff should be done by a pro and by one company. You shouldn't get somebody to do this, another guy to do that, because you want a cohesive theme running through the entire process.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Let's talk about those presentations. Let's focus on, I actually had a point that I wanted to raise here with you, is that one of the key elements, and I know when you present, and a lot of the guys maybe haven't practiced well enough. They tend to waffle on. And you know your business, and those key points are just, they're not being hit. So having a presentation gets us to hit the points, the hard points at the right time, so we can keep the presentation on track and keep the listeners engaged.
Look, and also be saying the right things. So,
Yes,
so
right.
as you said, it's just as important to know what not to say as to know what to say. And you want to keep your messaging concise and powerful so that you're using enough words to absolutely get a compelling message across, but that you're not going off the reservation and talking about all sorts of stuff. You know, if you can use 3 words instead of 4 words to say the same thing, then use 3 words. So
Yes.
I think brevity is hugely important. Otherwise, you lose people. So that was the first thing in terms of that. And the second thing is that, in my opinion, whoever's setting up that presentation and pitching the business should do at least 50 presentations one-on-one with that to 50 different people. And they should have a witness with them.
Okay.
And at the end of each presentation, they should go back and they should say, why didn't this person join if they didn't join? What did they like about the presentation? What didn't they like about the presentation? Where did we lose them? What were their objections? So that by the time you get to handing this presentation off to somebody, or doing a launch, or getting up in front of a group of people, that you're not at a point where you're waffling. You understand what objections were held, and you are hitting all of those objections during the presentation, that you know exactly what you're saying, and it comes out slick and smooth and beautiful. So in my opinion, the guys should be practicing this and then absolutely polishing that presentation to the point where the day they do it to the group of people at a founding member launch or pre-launch or whatever, that it is epic. And then every opportunity from then on, they should use exactly that presentation. They shouldn't vary it. When I was, years ago as a kid, I ran a sales team that sold vacuum cleaners.
Yes.
And every single week, we had a Monday night meeting. Every Monday night, I would have my whole team in the room, which was still in the days before internet, and you know, internet wasn't even a thing at that time. So we'd get all of our salespeople into the room, and every single week, I personally would do a full demonstration of the product. Not because I needed to practice my demonstration, but I needed everybody to see my demo over and over and over and over again, so that when my salespeople went out, they would do my demonstration, because I knew I'd sold hundreds of machines personally. So I knew that what I did worked. And so I just needed to get them to, and I would hear them cracking my same jokes. When I went out with them into the field, I'd hear the same jokes come out of their mouths, the same comments, the same timing. I mean, they got to a point where they knew my presentation so well that they just closed deals. They knew how I closed. They knew everything about it because I did it every Monday night the same. So again, the same thing with the owner of the company. Whoever's setting up that presentation and who's confident that they can sell with that presentation should be at least once a week getting online and doing a presentation on behalf of people, or to groups of people in a Zoom meeting, or in an opportunity meeting somewhere around the country.
Yeah. One of the things that I'll watch a lot of YouTube clips, and you know that's where our content goes on as well on our channel. But one of the areas in which a lot of content is created on is this thing called objection handling. Now, objection handling is when you've done your pitch and there's questions that come at the end of that as a Q&A session, and it's I don't want to get involved in the business, or I don't understand, or I need to speak to my wife about this, or I need to. That prevents them from getting into the network. Now, you want to eliminate, or you can eliminate, all objections from refining this presentation that you put together. And the better you can address those potential objection handling questions within the pitch, you won't have any at the end.
Well, that's it. And if you can give your people those tools, because handling objections is a skill. I mean, you need to be able to think on your feet when you're handling objections, and you need to be good. So top salespeople are top salespeople mainly because they can handle objections. A noob in our business, the guy's just come in, there's no ways you can teach him. You can't teach those level of sales skills to your network. So you have to, as the owner of the company or whoever's setting up the presentation, you have to go through the presentation, See what objections you're getting. Now, I can promise you, the more objections you're getting, the worse your presentation was. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So you see you got, let's say you got five objections. Okay. So what are those 5 objections? Oh, I can't afford it. Okay, let's say that's an objection. There's too much money for me. You need to say, okay, how am I strategically, because it's a strategic thing, how am I going to deal with I can't afford it? What is my strategy to deal with can't afford it before the guy gets to there? So in your presentation, you might say to him, it's only 149 rands, and that's like the price of going out for a meal at a really cheap restaurant. Do you ever go out for a meal at a cheap restaurant? And he would say,
yes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
So you can see, you can start your entire own business, and all you have to do is skip one meal. So it makes it pretty affordable, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
You see, so I've now dealt with I mean, that's just off the top of my head kind of way to deal with it, but I've dealt with it when I gave the price in the presentation.
Yeah.
Now, I need to think strategically about how I deal with that. I have to ask my wife. During the presentation, you say, will you be doing this with your wife, or will you be doing it on your own? And so you can now bring up that, and the guy says, no, I'll be doing it with my wife. At this point, you've got 2 choices. You can say, well, your wife would need to be in this meeting, wouldn't she? And then you stop the presentation there and then. If the wife is actually going to be doing it with this person, giving them the pitch, and then letting them pitch the wife, I can guarantee you that's just an opportunity for failure.
Yeah.
If he says, no, I'll be doing this myself, will she be helping you spend the money? So now, and normally that's with a big smile on your face, will she be helping you spend the money?
Yes. Oh, of course she will.
Exactly. So how much money are you going to let her help you spend?
Oh, plenty.
Exactly. And I'm now dealing with, I've got to discuss this with my wife's story. So what we're going to do at the end of it, we're going to say, okay, now we're going to get you signed up now, and then we're going to sit down and I'll help you make a plan on how we're going to help your wife spend this money. Okay. So we're now I need to ask my wife about this. It's, okay, let's discuss how we're going to help your wife spend all of this money. You take them past that completely. Now, again, that's an off the top of the head thing, and that might not suit people's personality or whatever, but it is definitely a strategy that you can put in play and think through and make a decision on how you're going to deal with those. So it's just a case of listing all of the objections and then coming up with a strategy and building that into the presentation. And you'll see that the better your presentation gets, the less objections you'll get.
Sure.
To a point where your presentation is so good that when you get to the end of it, the obvious answer is, yes, I'd love to get involved. And when I was selling vacuum cleaners, and believe me, these vacuum cleaners were expensive at the time. They were probably, I don't know, at least 10 times more expensive than the nearest competitor on the market. So we're very, very, very expensive. I would get to the end of a presentation, and I would be shocked, completely and utterly stunned if they didn't buy. It was like, hey,
you said
what on earth did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because the presentation was so powerful, and I'd got so much buy-in during the process that by the end of the time, I would ask a very, very soft close. I would say to them, guys, if you had it, would you use it? And they would say, absolutely. And so if you're going to use it, is there, should we get you started now?
Yeah.
And so it was a very soft close. We weren't forcing them down the road, but by the time, so you're going to use it, let's get started now. Let me get my paperwork. And I'd assume the close, I'd get my paperwork, and I'd turn around, and I'd turn to the guys, whose name are we going to put this in? And when they told me whose name they were going to put it in, that was the deal made.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's a closing strategy that was canned. The reason I did that is because I knew that my people wouldn't be able to close aggressively. I'd done thousands of sales training hours over the years, which I'd attended. So at the time, and I'm hugely rusty now, but at the time I was an expert closer. But I knew my people would never be able to do that, never. So it had to be built in a soft way that I knew that they could actually emulate. And with your presentation, your goal is to get the person into the business, and so you need to have a process that you can absolutely emulate to the nth degree. And if you emulate it, it works. So you need to know this is like a rubber stamp. If you do it this way, the person, more people will sign up than not.
Yeah.
And that again goes back to the company. I personally think the owner of the company should be out there. A lot of, and this goes to a completely different point here, but a lot of the owners of the company, they are used to employing people. Sit down, shut up, do what I say, otherwise I'm going to fire your backside. Well, we're not in that space now. This is an army of volunteers. And if the owner of the company has not been out in the field and felt the pain of rejection in the field and understands just how difficult it is for people to sit down in the field and do this stuff, they've got no clue. And they sit there in the ivory tower thinking they know exactly how it's going down there. But Mrs. Smith is sitting in the home struggling to get this business off the ground. And if she fails, it's the owner's fault she failed. That's why she failed.
Sure.
Because I promise you, she wants to succeed. 99% of people would do the work if they knew what to do. So if she blows out and she fails, the only reason is because she stops believing that she can actually do it. And if she stops believing, it's because the owner hasn't put in the hard yards. So I know that's pretty harsh, and probably the guys are sitting back thinking, you know, how can you even say that about me? But that is the reality. People are not lazy. They get up every morning at 8 o'clock and they go to a job. They slave all day, 8 hours a day working, normally for not a very nice person. They go home, the following day they come back. It's not a laziness thing. It's just, I don't know what to do. And it's again, if the boss hasn't gone through it themselves, they cannot relate. They don't understand just how difficult it is to be in the field and to actually do this stuff on the ground.
What does JOB stand for again?
Just over broke.
It's brilliant.
Should be called a job. Just under broke.
Just under. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, what that tells me is that repeating the presentation, the pitch over and over again, will then reduce the number of objection handling questions that come in. You go back and refine the pitch, keep going refining the pitch until you have the rainbow pitch.
Yes.
And you're able to, and you're shocked when someone says, no.
Yeah, no.
Whoa,
what the
hold
hell?
on.
What do you mean no? Do you like having a dirty house? What is your problem? No.
See, there we go. Then we can sell it.
You know. Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to chat about here, Richard, is there's a common thread within these presentations and how to structure the presentation. So there's three elements, and we speak about this quite often. And I'm going to highlight those three elements, and then I'd like for us to just dive into it. So the first one is what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sitting presenting to someone. They're sitting there going, well, what do I have to do to be part of this business? I then have to go, what is my investment, and what is my ROI, my returns, and then how can I do it, right?
Well, the last one is
can I actually do it?
Can I actually do it?
Am I capable of doing this?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to address in that whole presentation.
If the person doesn't know all three of those things, they've got to believe they can do it, they've got to believe it's worth doing it,
right?
And they've got to like what they're doing.
Yeah.
You can say to a guy, listen, I'll give you R1 million, okay? R1 million or $1 million even, okay? What do you have to do? All you got to do, go and stab somebody to death.
Yeah.
Now, instantly, the guys think, well, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
You might have a guy say, well, that's worth it.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, now he comes up with an objection.
Yeah.
I don't like stabbing. Can I use a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use a gun. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that the person has got to like what they're doing. Otherwise, they're a con artist. If they're selling something they don't believe in, they've got to believe that it's worth their while doing it. And they've got to believe that they actually can do it.
Yeah.
Those are the three questions you've got to answer. So by the end of it, if the guy sitting there says, I like this, damn, I can make some good money, and I definitely can do this, what would be preventing him from getting in?
Sure.
So he would get in. And not everybody gets in, obviously, but you would have a higher rate of people getting in than not getting in. Your closing ratio would go through the roof if you can answer those three questions.
Yeah.
So that's when you're structuring your compensation plan. When you start structuring your presentation, you start with the first one, which is, what do I have to do? Yeah. Now, that's all about the product. You know, what I have to do. This is you show the person the product. This is the product that we're selling. This is what we're marketing. And what you're going to be involved in is marketing this product. And you show them how they go about marketing it, why this product is so epic, why people are actually beating our doors down to get our product. You know, what it is that you're going to be putting a badge on your, and you know, Make sure that they understand that they don't have to go and beat their family and friends' doors down and try and push them into an MLM business. That it's something that, like any business, you cannot run any business with your family and friends. If a big retail chain said, well, I'm only selling to family and friends, what chance would they have of succeeding?
Sure.
Zero. So you need to take the focus of going and hitting on my family and friends, and you need to put the focus heavily on how epic this product is, how you go about marketing this product online, how you go about marketing in social media, how you go about connecting with customers, the advertising budgets the company's putting together, the brochures, all of that stuff that the company's doing to support and help you. That gets put to the fore on this. And specifically, how epic the product is. If you've got a product that anybody interested in it would want, that's like 90% of the battle won. Because if I'm sitting there and I see an incredible product and I think, well, I would absolutely buy this, then that's a massive hurdle to overcome because my belief system is locked in now. I would buy this, so other people will buy it. Yeah. If I think to myself, there's no way on hell's earth that I would buy this, then the chances of me actually, selling it are remote. I remember when I went to the first Rainbow meeting, they demonstrated this machine to me, and I was completely blown away. I thought, geez, I want one of these things. Yeah. And at that point, I knew I could sell it. Because if me, who couldn't afford it at all at the time, I mean, I was a youngster, wanted one, I knew if I could get in front of people who had the money, I'd be able to sell it to them. Right, yeah. And so the first point for me is, make sure that you lead with the product. Now, a lot of companies lead with the opportunity meeting. And the problem with that is that you get a lot of churn. Because I get in to make a quick buck, I discover it's hard, I don't like the product, I'm gone. So the churn is huge. Whereas if I come in for the product, what very often happens is even if I don't sell the product, I remain a customer. I remain connected to the business. And then I might tell some friends about it. Before I know it, a couple of people are signed up. Next thing, this business is up and running. I'm getting so sort of hooked onto the product that I can't help myself telling people about it. And then the business is going. So it's a much more guaranteed it reduces your churn radically. I would say that you can halve your churn rate by leading with the product rather than the opportunity. And again, what is the two things that I want to get out of this meeting? Number one, I want a customer. Regardless of whether these people sign up or not as a business owner, I want them as a customer. And I'll say to them at the end, the guy says to me, and this could be part of the objection handling, the guy says to me, I don't want to do this. It's not for me. I say, but you're pretty impressed with the product, aren't you? So why don't we just make a small order for you? Just try some of the product out, and then I can immediately sign him up and get him to buy an order. Now, there's some reciprocity here. I've just spent an hour with him. He's going to feel pretty rotten not even buying one product from me. So I can then sign him up, get him into the product. He tries the product out. If our product's any good, he's going to like it, and I can go back to him and see him a couple of times, sell him a bit more product, and then at some stage, who knows, I can roll him into being an IBO for us. So whenever I do a big presentation whether it's one-on-one in a coffee shop or a massive presentation online to 1,000 people, I always lead with a product.
Brilliant.
And if somebody really, they think that highly effective nutrition is a waste of time, and in actual fact, they're doing everything they can to kill themselves. They smoke, they drink, they don't do any exercise, they're 900 pounds overweight, and so, well, then fine. They don't use the product, they don't go, they don't like our product. But if they like our product, I want them as a customer on IBO. So, cool. What's the next one?
Well, one of the things I love about multi-level marketing that's different to something like an affiliate model is that in an affiliate model, you sell to a customer, and the cookie or the tag to you as the affiliate, I think it's a first purchase or a second purchase. Let's call it that.
And you also get a very, very, very thin
small
slice
margin.
of the action.
I mean, the commissions are
crazy.
It's crazy. It's not even worth your time.
With an MLM, that customer is, when attached to you, is a customer for life. So you have the chance now to engage, develop relationships, to upsell, promote the customer loyalty. And when that customer is a repeat purchaser and loving your products, they go, well, I'm referring this to other people anyway. Because I love this product so much, let me get involved in the business.
Exactly.
So it's not
not a bad way to go about it. Is if you're not signing someone up as an agent in your downline, it's having them as a customer.
Yeah.
Build relationships, and that's all that network marketing, MLM, is all about.
And look, you can build your customer base. I mean, the big retail companies, they don't build their customer base by going and speaking to people one-on-one necessarily.
Yeah.
So if you just got into this to build a customer base, you could easily build a customer base through social media, through various other mechanisms.
Yeah.
And then ease your way into the business. So again, that's why the product, in my opinion, you lead with it. And you need to do a good job.
Okay. Let's go into the next point, which is what is my investment and the return on my investments through the pitch.
Okay, so the next thing is the guy's going to ask himself, okay, what can I make and how much does it cost? That's the next thing, because nobody really wants to do stuff for nothing. You know, they will recommend a movie or a restaurant because they feel like they're helping their friend out. But if to get them to seriously market your product, they want to know that there's something in it for them. And that's fine. And that's what you want to do. So when you pitch your compensation plan, first of all, you can't make it complicated. If you know everything, you're an expert. If you tell everything, you're a bore. And you're going to confuse your people, and confused people always say no. If I'm confused, I don't know about this. It sounds confusing. The second thing is, don't make it sound too good to be true. Because if it sounds too good to be true, people think it's too good to be true, and then your useless people will join up because they're there to take a punt at whatever. But your good people will walk away. And you actually want good people in your business. So you need to make it realistic. And then what I would do in the compensation plan, in my opinion, every compensation plan needs to have a retail component. I need to be able to make money without recruiting a single human being as an IBO or as a network member. I need to make money just selling this product.
If that makes you a legitimate MLM business.
And if I can't do that, then to be honest with you, my opinion is that if you have no way to make money without recruiting IBOs, I would stay away from a company like that. Because not everybody wants to sign up people. And if I can only make money by signing up other IBOs, then there's no chance of it for me. And if I'm only making money for that, again, your churn rate is high. And you've basically got an illegal pyramid, because what happens to the bottom of the pyramid? Now, 50% of your people in the bottom of the pyramid, and they can only make money by signing up other people. So they sign up other people. Now you've still got 50% of your network at the bottom of the pyramid. And by the time you run out of people, by the time the system hits scale, let's say it's 100,000 people, you've got 50,000 people who are not earning any money. And they can't earn money. There's no way to earn money. They can't sell to customers. It's an illegal pyramid. So the first thing is I always talk about in these comp plans is, hey guys, just remember, you don't have to recruit anybody. There's a retail commission here, and it's on a sliding scale. For example, you know, if you only sell a little bit of product, you'll make 10%. But if you sell a massive amount of product, we'll pay you all the way up to 40%. And so you go and sell $1,000 worth of product or $2,000 worth of product, we'll pay you $800 in commissions or whatever. So you can make this highly attractive just from a pure customer base. The next step is to say to them, and for those of you who want to actually go out and really make this thing big, we have this compensation plan. And again, I'm very careful about going into detail. I don't get into the minutiae of the plan, because you cannot. So obviously we'll go into the plan in detail in training, but right now I want to tell you, you've got 6 ways to earn from us, for example. So you can earn retail commission, you can earn a sliding scale volume bonus, you can
Fast start.
You could have a fast start bonus if you get out of the blocks quickly and do X amount of sales in such and such amount of time. We've got if it's a binary plan, we've got up to X percentage on your pay leg, or if it's a uni level, we're going to pay you. We pay out 20% over 8 levels, and so you can really make good money by signing people up. And then we've got this leadership bonus, which matches whatever your people do, and pool bonus, whatever. So, and I would go through those at a very high level, because what you are trying to do is create the impression that, hey, this is simple, there's 6 ways to earn, these are the 6 ways, we'll explain the detail to you, but understand you can earn like this, and 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 like this. And if you only want to earn like that, great. If you only want to earn like that, fantastic. It's really simple. So you create the impression, because nobody understands. Who understands these compensation plans anyway?
Sure.
I can speak to 50 people from 50 networks, even the top leadership, who don't really understand their comp plan.
Yes.
You know, we understand comp plans because we design them and we build them. But the vast majority of the networkers don't understand it. So you keep that at a very high level. And then you tell them what they get for the investment. So you want to have a value stack here. So now what are you going to get for your money? So you're going to get your own website, for example. You're going to get a replicated website. Now, how many of you have set up an e-commerce website in your time? How much does it cost to set up your own e-commerce website?
Very expensive.
And what is the
Time-consuming.
exactly? And what is the effort to keep it up to date and to make sure the products are on there and to run your special offers and to all of that? There's massive effort in there.
Yeah.
So what would it be worth for you for us to set that up for you and take complete control of it? You never have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Then what about fulfillment? Imagine having to stock the product, put it in the warehouse, pick it, pack it, ship it, organize the couriers. How much do you think that would cost to set up a warehousing? Then, of course, you've got the cost of accounting and keeping track of the billing and all of that kind of stuff. What does an accountant cost today? And then, of course, you've got the cost of offices, online training, training experts, people to help you recruit your people, all of that. What would that cost you to set up yourself? Now you can get all of that today from us for just $49 or just $149 or whatever the price is. And then you can say, what an amazing offer is that? That's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, you build the stack by saying, well, it's $10,000 to set up a proper e-commerce site, blah, 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 whatever it is, I don't know. And then you've built up this massive value stack, and then you say, and you get all of this from us for just $49. And what's in your starter kit? We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this product. In actual fact, the stuff in your starter kit is worth more than $49 before we even start.
Yeah.
And so now the guy's not thinking about the $49 or the $100 or whatever it is you're charging. He's not thinking of that. What he's thinking of is, damn, that is just such good value for money. So that's part of the dealing with the objection of I can't afford it. You've created this incredible value stack. Because I know if I said to you, give me $1,000 for a car, your first question is, what car is it?
Sure.
Because it could be a piece of junk not worth $1,000. But if I said to you, give me $1,000, what's parked outside is a 500 SL with a service plan, brand new, never been driven. You can drive it off the lot right now. It's yours. Suddenly you think,
money.
oh, yeah, $1,000 is cheap for that.
Yeah.
You go out, you have a look at it, you see the paperwork, yes, it's all true. You'll beat me to death with $1,000, I'm pretty sure.
I will.
So it's a case of building that value stack. Now that's part of the presentation. And then you drop the money on them. So now you have to end off with all you have to do.
Yeah.
So to get started, all you got to do is, and now you come in for the close. You've told them what it is that we do. You've told them how easy it is for them to do it, at least how much money they can make, what the investment is. And now you want to show them that it's something that they can absolutely do. So all you have to do is sign up tonight, and we're going to give you collateral and advertising material that you can post on your social media to get started. Or we're going to give you a mechanism to get people to actually call you. Or we're going to give you advertising that you can put onto here. Or we're going to give you the training needed to find easily people from outside of your family circle to join the business or whatever. So by the time you've finished here, you'll understand exactly how to do this, and it will be a simple process for you to follow. So I've taken you through all of these steps, and now I'm going into the close. I've told you all you have to do is, and we're going to be there to hold your hand. And as you know, what we do with our people, we have the pledge. And I think
pledge is brilliant.
Yeah. So what happens is, if I'm signing you up, either from the stage or in person, we do a pledge together. And say, tonight what I pledge to do is I pledge to teach you how the system works, because it's complicated, and I'll teach you how the systems, the online systems, all of that, I'll teach you how that works. I'll teach you how to, talk to people about this product. Okay, and we'll go together, and I'll do it, and you can watch me. So this will be something I'll literally be holding your hand on. I promise to show you how the compensation plan works, not so that you can become a compensation expert, but so that you know what you need to do to suck the most money you can out of this compensation plan and out of the company. Because that's, after all, what you want to do, isn't it?
It is.
The more money you can get out of the company, the better.
Yes.
And I promise to help you with that. Then I promise to help you at least go out and pitch the concept of the team to people. So try and help you recruit your first 2 people. So I'll go out and help you do that. And I'll do it. You watch me. We'll do it together. And then you do it and I laugh. I mean, I'll help you. So we do it together, and then I promise to continue to help you, to train you, to be available if you're having hard times, to be in your corner.
You've set the expectation. You've just managed the deliverables from your side.
Exactly. This is what I promise to do.
Yes.
On the flip side, we have the reverse of all of those promises.
Yeah.
You promise to actually spend the time to learn the systems. I'm going to teach you, but you promise to find me at least one person we can go and show you how to do it, but at one person we can go and talk to about the product so that we can get some practice. You promise to learn how the comp plan works and take the time that's necessary to do that. You promise to go with me to try and help recruit a couple of people, and you promise to share with me any problems you're having so that I can help you. You sign it, I sign it. Now, what we do on our systems, as you know, is that we say to the guy, after 1 week, let's say I recruited you, I get an email saying, hey, you should have done X, Y, and Z with Stuart. You get an email saying, hey, Richard should have done X, Y, and Z with you. Remember? In 5 weeks, he's going to rate you. In 5 weeks, you're going to rate me.
Yeah.
Next week, okay, at this point, you should have done X, Y, and Z. Hey, Richard, you should have done this with Stuart. Richard should have done this with you. Remember, in 4 weeks' time, there's going to be a rating and an accountability, and Stuart is going to rate you.
Yeah.
And we keep on doing that. In the end of the 6-week period, you've gone through all of the different things. Stuart gets an email saying, hey, click here to rate Richard. How did he do? Did he show you pledge number 1? Did he show you pledge number 2? Did he show you? And give him a rating out of 5 on all of that.
Yeah.
Now, that creates accountability and stops churn. Because I know what's expected of me to help you, and you know what's expected of you to help me. So we know what the expectations are. They've been set out clearly. And so I would say to you at the end of that, Stuart, if I promise to do all of this with you, and you promise to do all of this with me, do you think you're going to succeed? And you would say?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to succeed together. So I'm going to sign mine, and there's the positive action close signed here. So I've signed mine. I need you to sign yours. Here's the pen. You sign yours. And I'm actually going to give you this to keep because you're going to hold me accountable here. Okay? Okay, let's get you signed up. Either get out our cell phone or our laptop, and we get you into the business.
Is there an accountability for the downline? So there's no star rating for your... I'm rating my sponsor, but is the sponsor rating...
No,
okay.
No, look, the guy's new to it, okay? So
he's getting in.
He's getting into it. You can't really rate him on what you're going to say.
Sure. Yeah.
He didn't work. Well,
No, he can't.
If he didn't work, he's out of the business. Who cares?
Yeah.
But as a leader, what you want as a company is you want your leaders to be accountable. Now, in our system, as you know, what happens is at the end of the 6-week period, people will rate the sponsor. If the sponsor consistently gets bad ratings, our system is going to thank them.
Yeah.
It's going to say, hey, listen, you're getting bad ratings. We are suspending you. Here's a link. You need to go and do this training. They then book into the training. They do the training. They write an exam. If they pass the training, we reactivate them. Because you need that level of accountability.
Sure.
If your people are throwing mud against the wall and seeing what sticks, you're going to have a huge churn rate. If your people are working with their people for a 6-week period and helping them make money, the stickability in your business goes through the roof. Now, we've got clients of ours who don't like this because they're so scared they're going to chase their people off.
Yeah.
I say to them, listen, if a person leaves because they don't want to be accountable to the people they're bringing in, you didn't want them in the first place.
Right.
They're going to trash your business's name. So for me, this is all part of that whole presentation to deal with all of the objections at the end, to take them through this. It's really simple to do, but here's the pledge, and let me show you what I'm going to do with you.
Yeah.
Let me show you how I'm going to make this work for you. Let me show you how I'm going to be in the corner with you.
There's a number of benefits for that pledge. One of the benefits I absolutely love is, we addressed this last week when we spoke about the event strategy that we ran through, how those events bring us together as a community again over a certain period. I feel like I'm a lone soldier out there making sales and trying to recruit. But if I've got my sponsor committed to a pledge to say, I will sit with you at your first meeting. Let's set up time together. Let me help you here. Let me train you on this. Are we connecting all the time? And that's what this space is about. So you're not left alone because you have that accountability through the pledge.
And what's really epic about this as well is that, Stuart, you would know whether you were holding up your end of the bargain. And if you don't hold up your end of the bargain, you're not going to leave the business and go and trash the industry because you know you didn't do what was necessary.
Yeah.
You know, if I was phoning you saying, hey, Stu, have you got somebody for me to go and see you with, and I'm actually on it with you, and you're actually letting down the side, you're not walking away here saying, you know, this company's rotten or the multi-level marketing industry is rotten. You're walking away saying, actually, I didn't do what was expected of me.
Yeah.
And therefore, I accept that this didn't work for me. And so that's a key part of this, because this industry gets a bad name, not because the companies are rotten, but because the blimmin' sponsors are rotten.
Yeah.
So I sponsor you into the business and then I just don't help you. And you out there in the cold, you don't know what's going on. I don't teach you how to do the presentation, nothing. And then you fail and you blame me for your failure. And in actual fact, it's my fault. I didn't teach you, I didn't take you out, didn't do any of those things that I should have done to make you successful. But again, that brings us back to the presentation. That's all part of that whole process.
We always focus on things like retail, or we focus on traditional business. Let's look at the traditional business in terms of training. If I came into a business as an employee and I didn't receive the adequate training and attention that I required, and I couldn't perform my role, I left the company, I'd say something horrible about the company. And the same applies here in MLM.
Very much so.
You need to have that interaction with the sponsor so that they can teach you how to go out.
And remember, the sponsor can't teach if the company hasn't done it first. And that goes back to the canned presentation. Every part of this needs to be canned. So when I sit with you in that coffee shop and I go through the presentation, right the way through to, in our case, the pledge, that needs to be canned. I need to go through this the way I've been taught, so that by the time I get to the end of it, the chances of you signing up are high. And that can only happen if that presentation has been well thought through by the company and then has been actually trained down the line.
Okay. Should we come into land on this?
How much time have we got?
I think we've got, we've done well. We've done 47 minutes.
Gee, this time flies when you're having fun.
I know. In our coffee shop.
Yes.
This has been good fun.
Yeah, and our staff is all sitting here wondering what on earth we are doing.
I can't believe they've been so quiet. And we said just please keep it down a bit, just so that there's no murmur. But I mean, they've been amazing.
Because it's normally chaos here.
Well, there's chaos there with all of our equipment. There's usually chaos here with the rest of the team. But Richard, thank you so much for this time.
No,
appreciate it.
It was absolutely wonderful. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, week on week. All the valuable insights that you give me, I'm learning every week. And for everyone out there that's dedicated your time to us, and everyone that's watching on MLM for CEOs, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to say, guys, please, we're on YouTube, and we want you to hit the subscribe button as well as that bell. We're trying to our big focus right now is on YouTube and really activating that channel and growing our audience, because the more that is on there, the more that we can do, the more information we can put on about this lucrative multi-level marketing industry. We also got our Spotify page, which is for our podcasting. So when you're sitting in that traffic and you've got nothing else to do, listen to Richard and Stu.
Even if you've got something else to do, put that on hold.
If you've got something to do or nothing to do, listen to Richard and Stu.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know. Okay.
Okay, that was pretty good.
We've also got our professional platform. All our platforms are professional, but it's LinkedIn, NetReady MLM software, as well as our Facebook page. Please follow us. Please like our page. All of our content is going across all of those platforms. Thank you for your time dedicated to us. From me, Stuart, and from Richard, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.